I'm Bernie Leaving, Congregational Care Pastor here at Palmacio United Methodist. Welcome to this week's PrayerCast. Decades before there was an organization known as Doctors Without Borders, there was Dr. Albert Schweitzer, the subject of this week's PrayerCast, the fourth one focusing on the stained glass windows in our sanctuary. Dr. Schweitzer was chosen to be the subject of one of the windows as his life significantly incarnated essential characteristics of a life of Christian discipleship. A PBS NewsHour commentary on his 141st birthday back in January said, "He may be a somewhat forgotten or even a controversial figure, but half a century ago, the mere mention of the name Schweitzer conjured up images of selflessness, heroism, and the very model of a modern humane physician." Born the son of a Lutheran pastor, he began playing the organ as soon as his feet could reach the pedals. He became a noted concert virtuoso organist, especially when playing the works of Bach. Years later, when his hospital in Africa needed funds, he would go back to Europe and use his organ-playing skill in fundraising concerts. Hence, a church organ is the focus of the right panel of the window here in the sanctuary. He studied theology at the University of Strasbourg, where he obtained his doctorate in philosophy. He preached at St. Nicholas Church in Strasbourg and served at the college where he earned his doctorate. Simultaneously, he continued organ playing, researching and writing about Bach, Kant, and how to build organs. He published The Quest for the Historical Jesus, a controversial book of biblical historical criticism, which called into question many of the popular beliefs about Jesus in that day. He firmly believed that scholars and preachers were ignoring the urgency of Jesus' message. Earlier in his life, while serving a year of mandatory military service, he had a spiritual awakening while reading Jesus' words in Matthew chapter 10 and 11, in which Jesus says for his followers to heal the sick, cleanse the lepers, raise the dead, cast out demons. At age 21, he committed himself to dedicate his life to helping the suffering. In 1905, at age 31, much to the dismay of his family and friends, he entered medical school in response to a call of the Society of Evangelist Missions to help advance their cause and work. Interestingly enough, after he finished medical school, the society would not accept him to work with them due to what they considered his liberal theology. So after a year of private fundraising, he and his wife set sail at their own expense from France to Africa. Once in Lambarene, in the present-day nation of Gabon, he established a small hospital, actually first in a chicken coop. He became doctor and preacher, pastor, as depicted in the left panel of the window with the Bible and the physician's head mirror wrapped around it. Immediately there, they treated leprosy, dysentery, elephantitis, sleeping sickness, malaria, yellow fever, wounds suffered by encounters with wild animals, and all other common human maladies. They treated over 2,000 patients in the first 9 months. The numbers of patients treated and the hospital facilities grew by leaps and bounds. Over the next 40 years, by the time Dr. Schweitzer died there at the hospital in 1965 at age 90, there were 70 buildings, 350 beds, and a leper colony of over 200. Our window's center panel's image is of an older Dr. Schweitzer going about his work in his hospital. Interestingly, many of his attitudes toward the African people whom he loved and served reflected 19th century views and would be politically incorrect today. Dr. Schweitzer's legacy includes not only his selfless service to the African people, he leaves behind his reverence for life belief that would not even allow mosquitoes to be killed at the hospital. He was recognized for his humanitarian work with the Nobel Peace Prize in 1952. So today, rather than close our PrayerCast with prayer, I will use my favorite Dr. Schweitzer quote about Jesus. He said, "He comes to us as one unknown, without a name as of old, by the lakeside. He came to those men who knew him not. He speaks to us the same word, 'Follow thou me,' and sets us to the tasks which he has to fulfill for our time. He commands, and to those who obey him, whether they be wise or simple, he will reveal himself in the toils, the conflicts, the sufferings which they shall pass through in his fellowship. And as an ineffable mystery, they shall learn in their own experience who he is." God bless the rest of your week. Be in church somewhere this Sunday.